So, Clint and I are moving together into an abandoned homestead somewhere in the remote outback in Western Australia. It's easy to see that nobody has lived here for quite some time, and it's a big challenge we took on. There's a lot to do, and it really feels like work never ends. The list of tasks is long, with a lot to tidy up inside and outside. Cleaning, and, of course, building a fence for Clint's 2 dogs, Layla and Loki. Before we were actually able to move any gear, we had to pick up the bobcat, which was sitting on a different property on which Clint worked a while ago. Unfortunately, we didn't have any ramps to load the machine onto the truck, but that's not a problem for Clint, who just built his own ramp out of a few buckets of dirt. I really made 3 crosses when the bobcat was finally sitting on the back of the truck. We had a different problem when picking up the shipping container. Besides from a few shelves in it, it was empty, but still very heavy. Too heavy to be lifted by the crane from this angle. We had to move the truck a little bit closer to the container, and it finally started to lift it. I get a bit nervous in these situations, but for Clint it's normal to face issues like these, and somehow he always finds a way. Luckily, the unloading of the heavy container turned out to be a bit easier than loading it. Since we finally connected the water pipes, I was able to water the plants out here. This olive tree took up a lot of space in our backyard and needed pruning. When sitting on the veranda, our view was completely blocked by this massive tree, and Clint struggled getting around it with the bobcat. Somehow I can't deny that I find these jobs enjoyable. It's because the huge difference it makes from before compared to after. My parents are passionate gardeners, and in this case, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. How do you guys like the end result? It's another bathtub gone. Clint was happy because he finally had enough room for the bobcat in the yard and was able to shift the remaining bathtubs. They were used for growing plants. Good to see we finally got some more space in our yard here. And even with this one here gone, it'll open it up heaps better. So much better. You can actually see underneath it and walk around it. All of these ones here are done. No dead branches on that anymore. Yeah, Puss Puss, hello. By the way, the cat will be rehomed before we move the dogs here. As usual, not everything went to plan. No, but doesn't have a bottom. Get rid of it. We'll have to get one of the bathtubs back to get all this stuff in there. So this one here is all pruned now. And I think I should attack this one now. I think this might be a lime tree. That'll make it a little bit easier to walk around it, and sooner or later we're gonna move these mats out here. But we need a machine for those. They're too heavy, big rubber mats. But at least we can get to them now and we can walk around this building. Living on a big property in the bush is not new to Clint. Back at the current base, we've got lots to do to tidy up, drive to the tip, loading gear that needs to be moved, and just sorting stuff in general. It was a good base out here, and the decision if we were going to move or not a hard one, but rent was too expensive for just the two of us. Clint grew up in this part of Western Australia and knows a lot of people within at least 200 kilometers. It took several months of asking around before we found out about a homestead in the bush that was abandoned. The cattle station which surrounds our new base is managed from a different property, and the grazier doesn't have a use for the house. So that's how we ended up being caretakers. Gold occurrences in the area are a big bonus, and I have found good gold within a short drive last year. There's a lot of country out there that needs exploring, and I can't wait to get stuck into it. Not that we really need it, but it'll be good to have a house. Although there was a big house at the old base, Clint used to camp in the backyard with the kitchen/living room in the bower shed. It'll be similar at the new place. We'll be camping for now. As long as we can produce our own electricity and have access to water, we are happy. Just walking around and I spotted another olive tree here. I don't even know where to start on this one. I'm so happy with this tree now. Looks great. Plenty of room to walk underneath it. And sooner or later there's going to be grass growing here as well. And we'll probably have to chop off that big branch there. But yeah, anything with a chainsaw I'm not going to touch. I'll let Clint do that. I've never used a chainsaw before. That's looking heaps better. At least the sun can come through here. We can walk around. And that's what came off it.
Got it?
Nice gate you got here.
Good. Now you can push it in. There.
Time flies when you're having fun, and all of a sudden I was on my way to Germany. We decided to split up the drive to Perth to get to the airport, so we ended up spending one last night camping in the bush. Clint moved his little caravan and the dogs after he returned from Perth. And by the way, he was able to find a new home for the cat in the meantime.
Where are we? Hey? This is our new home. Yeah. You wanna get out? Wait. Come and have a look. Oh, already weighing on stuff. That's Loki's wee. I can't keep up with them. They're gone. What do you reckon? Good? Don't weigh on everything. Don't weigh on everything. Loki! You want to have a look in the house? No weighing inside. No! Yeah, the smelly old couches. Coming out? Might shut the door so Loki doesn't wee everywhere.
Obviously, Clint and the dogs have moved to our new base by now, so thanks Clint for sending the footage through so we can all see what's going on and are all up to date now. He's also been busy working, of course, getting a little bit of detecting done, but unfortunately not too much, because there's also plenty of stuff to do around the house still. But he did manage to put in some grass seeds, which we got in Perth before I flew out to Germany, so the plan is also to get a few more plants when I return. And hopefully we're gonna have a green lawn there soon. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And then I'm gonna see you all next week. Stay safe out there. And one last thing. I think Clint and the dogs look comfortable out there, don't you?